Hi there, this is Jonathan Ginsberg. I'm a Social Security disability attorney and I take cases nationwide. I'd like to talk to you today about the information you need when you first apply for Social Security disability. This is whether you do it online, over the phone, or even in person. And sometimes people don't know exactly what they need and that holds them back from applying. And I would encourage you to go, if you feel that you're disabled and you need to pursue benefits, to go ahead and apply. Here's kind of an overview of what you need. It's not that much, but it's information that you're going to need to put your hands on it at some point in time, so the sooner the better. First and foremost, you need a list of all the doctors that you have treated with since the time that you believe you became disabled or that relate to your disabling condition. And when I say you need the names and addresses, I mean you need the names, addresses, phone numbers, ideally the dates of treatment. If the doctor has moved, go online, find the new address, because Social Security will request those medical records at no cost to you, and it's important that the more information they have, that it's really important that you give them good information as far as finding the doctor. If the doctor has retired, most of the time when a doctor retires, he or she will associate another doctor's office that keeps the medical files. So you may have to do a little bit of homework to track down where your medical records are, but it's well worth it, because the more complete that initial file is, the better. So definitely look for the name, address, phone number of every doctor that you've seen really in the last, I always tell people within a couple of years of the time you say you became disabled, and if it's for a lifelong condition, longer if possible. You're not going to have too much evidence, so the more evidence the better. Secondly, you'll need all the hospital information. If you've been in a hospital for treatment, whether it's emergency room, surgery, day treatment, inpatient, whatever it is, the name of the hospital, the address, the phone number, the dates of treatment, and perhaps even the names of the admitting doctor if there's an admitting physician. Same thing here. The more information you have, the better, the more complete the file will be. Social Security will get that information, but you need to make sure that they've got the correct name of the hospital. And one little tip, by the way, hospitals change names. For example, if Wellstar buys a hospital, it becomes Wellstar ABC Hospital. Sometimes hospitals just change name from Metropolitan Hospital, they name it after Jane Smith. So you may have to look up and find the exact name of the hospital with the mailing address, if at all possible. I think that you want to make sure that you have a list of all your current medications, and this would be the name of the medication if it's a generic. So for example, the name of, if you're taking, for example, Tylenol is not a prescription, but acetaminophen is the technical name for Tylenol. So there's brand names for different kind of medications, and then there are the actual names of the medications. So if you have a particular medication, let's say Valium, you would write Valium, but in parentheses the actual name of the medication. If you can do that, that's helpful to do. The amount of the dosage you're taking, how frequently you're taking it, and the name of the prescribing doctor. That is something that is very helpful. You need to have a list of your current diagnoses, and I always tell people start with the most serious. So if your biggest problem is back pain, make the back pain the first thing you talk about, and try to be real specific. If it's lower back pain, lumbar back pain. If it's neck pain, cervical pain, the more specific you can be, the better. And if you have a specific diagnosis, that's even better. But again, even if you don't have the specific diagnosis, try to identify the body part or body system that applies, so that you give Social Security as much useful and actionable information as you possibly can. And finally, when you're filling out the forms, and I wrote a book about the forms, I will tell you the overriding thing you need to focus on is keeping in mind the main issue in a Social Security disability case, and that is, how do medical problems limit or impact your capacity for work? And if you keep that in mind, this is about work capacity, not about medical problems, then you're going to do a lot better, because you want to write about not so much that it hurts a lot, but it hurts a lot and it interferes with concentration and focus. I can't walk very far, or my hip hurts really bad, means I can't walk more than 100 feet without having to sit down, or that my pain level gets so high that I have to take a pain medication which puts me to sleep. The more specific you can be as to how your medical issue impacts your ability to, your capacity for work, that's better. So that's basically how I would approach filling out the disability application forms, the reconsideration forms, the disability reports. Just keep in mind that you're going to need a lot of data, which again, you want to try to get as much as you possibly can. If you don't have all of it, you don't have all of it. Don't let that stop you from applying, but try to get as much of that stuff as possible so that you can get your application processed and the Social Security will be able to find all that. And you can always supplement. So if you don't have it all now, but you need to apply, do that, and then later on send the adjudicator the names and addresses of any other doctors that you have either forgot about and now know, or that you finally got the information for. So hope you found this helpful. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up on YouTube or Facebook and subscribe to our channels. And until next time, this is Jonathan Ginsberg wishing you well. Thanks a lot. Hi, this is Jonathan Ginsberg, and I hope you found this video helpful. If you'd like to know more about how to win your Social Security disability case, I'd like to invite you to download my Secrets to Getting Approved Early Survival Kit that I created just for people like you. Currently, I'm making the survival kit available at no cost, and I encourage you to grab your copy now. Some of the topics I cover include: how do I know if I have a case? Is it the right time for me to file my claim? 9 common mistakes that can doom your case. The 3 must-have arguments you use to win your case. And a topic that every disability claimant wants to know: how to avoid trick questions from the judge. If you or a loved one need to win Social Security disability benefits, you'll find the Survival Kit essential reading. Download your Survival Kit right now and at no cost. Just visit ssdanswers.com/survival and sign up. It's that easy. Please act now. And as always, I wish you the best.